Well, hello there. How's it going?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm I'm good. I'm good. We were just talking because we're setting up our like systems in place just so that we can get the recording going, and we were just chatting about how we have arrived at the age of where we start to get really frustrated with technology because it's we can't troubleshoot, and I understand, like, the older people's frustrations with it. Like, I am so sorry to my old 60, 70, 80-year-old boss who was like, who didn't know how to like save document as a PDF or send to printer.
Aw.
And now I get it because I couldn't even connect my headphones via Bluetooth to this computer. And that was so frustrating.
I think that's why they also, well, like a very common saying is that old people don't like change, or older people don't like change,
Yeah.
which I understand because when you have done things for like a good chunk of time a certain way and it works,
I
why
change
would
it.
why would you change it? Like, don't break it, don't don't fix it if it's not broken or whatever people say. Because we were having like issues with the connectivity of like the Bluetooth, and we're like, what happened to a good old-fashioned cable?
And you know what the worst part is? Sometimes you might just have like headphones with a cable, but then the
There's no port.
there's no port for it.
Yeah.
So it's just so frustrating how, yes, we move toward a, a world where, we get a little bit more advanced with our technology, but do we have to for some things? Like for headphones? No, we can just keep them as is. So frustrating. But anyway,
Anyway, that's
that's
not going to be the topic of today's
yeah, that's not
episode.
it. That's not sexy. What we wanted to talk about today, kind of like we wanted to talk about the dating, right? But not necessarily like our juicy dating life, more so like a commentary on dating these days. And we felt like that was just a topic that we haven't really touched on. So we felt like, why not, dive into it.
Yeah, we've definitely like let you guys in on a few bits and pieces among like we fill you in on the way of other conversations, but this is going to be an episode that's fully dedicated to just our um like our ideas, our
Our thoughts on aspects of dating.
yeah. So we have a couple of questions that we're going to like each share our thoughts on, and that's pretty much
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So should we get started?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so one thing I have noticed is amongst like my group of friends, like some of us are either have been in like committed relationships for years, and then like half of us are just chronically single. And that's not a bad thing. I just feel
Chronic.
like either you found do you say it?
No, I said chronic, like a disease. Like,
Like,
like I'm chronically single.
okay, we are single by choice and have been for a very long time.
Yeah, like long-term singleness.
Yes, exactly. And I there's something to say about that, right? Because like either you know your partner from like when you were young and you kind of just stuck with them. Not stuck, that sounds bad. But you've grown with them and you decided this is your person. Um, or you're kind of like on the other boat where you you can't seem to find the person that is for you for one reason or the other. So I kind of just wanted to like dive into that a little more with this one question. And my question to you, Clarissa, is how do you feel like how do you feel like your dating life has like evolved or remained the same throughout the years?
I think that it has um I guess the frequency with which I date has decreased.
Okay.
I think that like maybe like 3 years ago, I was, I don't want to say a lot because it wasn't never a lot. It was never that. But I was like on Hinge dating people. And for like a good year, maybe like a year and a half. And I was like consistent with it. I was like, thank you, next. Like when one didn't work out, I would just move on to the next. Like one of what some guy would just be like one date and then never speak again. And then and I had a few like that. And then there were a couple where it was like we went on a few dates and thought that it would go somewhere and then it ultimately didn't. And then now I don't remember the last time I went on a date. I did last year. Actually, last year around this time, I met somebody like in the wild. And he invited me to have ice cream, which I was like, I'm trying to be open-minded. I mean, it was ice cream and a walk. It was very cute, but I was like, but anyway, I I think that like now it's just not really like at the top of it's not like front and center for me. Like I'm not really concerned about it, and I feel maybe I should be. I don't know. I saw a friend last week or 2 weeks ago, and she was like, "How's dating going?" And I was like, "It's not." And I'm like, should I be doing more about that? But also, I just when I was on the apps, I felt like I wasn't really, I don't know. There was just not much to choose from. And that's why I switched to like if it's gonna happen for me, it's gonna happen naturally
Mhm.
and out in the wild. That's why I gave that one person a chance. I was like, well, maybe this ice cream could be the start of this could be the start of something new. Do you know that song?
Oh, yes, I
It's
just learned where that's from. I've
oh,
never seen
okay.
High School Musical, and I just saw it
Oh
like
my God. I love High School Musical. Well, I used to. It's but yeah, I think that now I'm just like I'm not really concerned about it and I don't know. I don't want to sound cliche, but I feel like I'm just like worrying about myself, like pouring
yeah.
into my own cup. And don't they say you should be a better you before you can be like a better half to somebody else? And that's kind of where I am. Like I'm just doing everything for me, and then if someone comes along and like fits into that, then
Mhm.
we can work from there. But for right now, I'm just like, and it's funny because like I'm older now, so I think that maybe I should be more like to conform to society's expectations. I should be like, oh my God, I need a partner. But I'm more like, do I? Because I see what's out there and I see other I'm like, I don't know if I want all that. Like I don't know. It's just that's where I'm at. So I
Mhm.
think that it's just not um it's not like a huge important part of my life. What about you? How has it changed? Or I don't know if that really answered your question. Is that like what you wanted to
I
know?
yeah, that you answered exactly what I was getting at. Yeah, you had a question for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what about you? How has it changed for you?
I feel like there's been ebbs and flows. Um, like at the beginning of 2020, right? Like I was in a relationship. Previous
Oh
to
my
that,
God, I forgot about that.
girl,
Sorry.
me too. No, honestly, I forgot about it until I was hanging out with my brother and my his fiance, and they met him,
Mm-hmm.
and she brought her mom because we were talking about types, and he's like, "So was that your type?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I forgot about him." Like,
You're like,
no,
sorry to that man.
sorry, that man, I
Sorry
forgot.
to that man. I don't know this man. Like Kiki.
I really don't. Anyway, so previous to that, like I was not dating at all. Maybe I'd go on like on a one day here and there, but it didn't. Nothing would come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, until I got into that relationship, and that lasted for like a couple months, and then I just like went completely single for some time. Then I moved out of my parents' house because I also never wanted to feel like, oh, like if they were to ask me, and that's the other thing. I feel like I have a hard time dating when I'm not in a place where I want to be,
Oh
in life.
yeah.
It, and so I feel like that already is a huge barrier to even like being open to dating
Hmm.
because that's always going to come up in conversation, right? Like, it's like, what do you do? Where do you live? And there's certain answers that I
I'm
don't want to give
homeless.
out. Exactly. There's certain answers that I just don't want to give out at the moment because I don't like the answer to that. And so I really just closed myself off to dating. And then once then I just started like focusing on myself. And I thought that that was just like a better use of my time because you
I
have
agree.
results. And then you get better, you look hotter. I don't know. But for me, I have used the apps here and there, but honestly, it just feels like shopping, right? Like there's just so much
Hmm.
online. At some point, I'm like, oh, you guys are all starting to look the same to me. So I'm just gonna get off this app, and the I feel like I have a lot of luck, like meeting people in the wild, and if
You
it goes
do.
yeah, I do. And so to me, it's just like, I don't need the apps. Like, this charming personality, let's get out there. So it's like more so about like really putting myself out there. Um, but again, like even when you do meet somebody, I don't know. It's just been kind of like maybe we'll hang out, maybe we won't. Did we have like a good time because like drinks were flowing, you were like the better looking one there. I don't know. Like it's so conflicting. But anyway, when I moved to New York, I my first week here, I went like on a date with somebody that I met in a while, and I thought that was gonna continue, but again, it didn't.
Hmm.
And it wasn't until like maybe summer started that I did meet somebody out in the wild again, and we dated um for like a couple months. And then eventually, you get to meet somebody and you realize, wait, I mean, they're cute and all, we have a lot of chemistry, but this is not who I see as like my long-term partner. So I gotta keep dating. So again, there's been like an ebb and flow um of how I date. Like dating has been an ebb and flow,
Hmm.
but yeah, we'll see. I understand your concern with like, oh, I am in my 30s. Like I do need to get a little bit more not serious about dating, but like really think like, okay, one, do I want kids? Like for sure, because this is like kind of like the decade that's you gotta lock in whether you want them or not.
Lock in for the childbearing years. Well, what's left of them? Because we already used up from like puberty till 30.
What's left of them exactly? And if there's even like the slightest chance that I might want kids, then maybe I should be more intentional with who I date or dating in general. But again,
Hmm.
like it's just no me nace. Like I just
Hmm.
don't feel like it. Like I think it's if I meet somebody organically and is meant to be, like then it will be. But other than that, like I don't know that I want to put that much work in, to find a
Yeah.
partner.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people don't. Like when you mentioned that a lot of people are like the people that are in long-term relationships have been in those since they were very young, and like they didn't put a lot of effort into that. Like they
Mm-hmm.
usually probably met because they were in school together and like it was just convenient, and then they just never left each other.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't think it should, yeah, like I feel like these I'm not like gonna bash on the apps because I did have my fun with them, but like sometimes I'm like that is not organic. That's not how people meet. Like, and I think that it's convincing us that people don't meet naturally. Like when if a man approaches you out like at the coffee shop or something, you're kind of just like, well, now I mean I'm used to it, but I think like maybe like a few years ago I was like, why is he speaking to me?
Uh-huh.
But that's the way you're supposed to do it. Like I'm not supposed
Yeah.
to, but like that's like a natural interaction. Like that's a natural way to engage with people instead of like through a screen and like looking at pictures. So
Mm-hmm.
it shouldn't be that much work. I'm not saying it's gonna fall in your lap, but like it should be a little bit more natural than like swipe right, swipe left.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that you brought up is like, yeah, we have gotten used to the idea that like, the only way to meet somebody is through the apps, right? Because when I'm asked, like, do you meet? How'd you meet? Are you on the apps? Are you in the apps? Like, are you dating? Are you in the apps? Like, they go hand in hand. And it's like, no, no, you can meet people organically, like literally. Like, you can walk out of here looking nice, pretty, and go to a
Hmm.
place that maybe a networking event or like, shit, what? Oh, you.
I mean, you can just go to the coffee
Anywhere.
shop.
You literally just walk out
It
of your house.
happens to
Honestly,
literally like go to work.
basically,
Walk
just go
walk down the
outside.
street. Yeah, walk down the street. That's literally how it happens. Oh, I went on a
Yeah.
date last year. I forgot about that. The same way, I literally I went on a walk.
And they found you.
Duh, look at me. No, I'm kidding.
No, yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
like that's what we should be more like we should be that should be normalized instead of the apps.
agreed, agreed. I don't know. I love, before I leave my house, I'm always whimsy. I'm like, "Ugh, I wonder who I'm gonna meet today," because I always
Oh.
meet somebody new, whether it's like a
Hmm.
new friend or like a potential boom, whatever. It's exciting, and so um that's why I'm like not too concerned with like finding a person because it's like you might find somebody, and if it's meant to be, you will. You'll run into them
Hmm.
wherever.
And I like how you mentioned the like consideration of us getting older and how that fits into like the the biological clock. Um, but like, is that all we should be concerned with?
Not at all. Not at
Like,
all.
what about me? And like, if that's selfish, sorry, but like, what about me?
Mm-hmm. Same more.
Um, like, I think, okay, sure. If you do want to have kids and you're contemplating that, you probably should more like maybe like find a partner, finalize that and lock in. But if you're still not sure, um, pour into yourself, like how we're saying, like just work on yourself. And that's a lot of fun, guys, if you haven't tried it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, I guess your priority shouldn't be like, let me find a partner because I'm 30 and I need to like squeeze in a couple kids in these next 5 to 10 years, um, and then give them everything. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't. Like you should. Like if you're a parent, yes, do everything for your children. But what about yourself? Like, have you done all that for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And if not, I encourage you all to do it. I'm not saying I've given myself everything, but I've worked hard to give myself what I want so far, like um, plan for my future, make sure I have fun, make sure I like tap into my health and wellness, and an occasional nocturnal outing. But
Mm-hmm.
like all those things, like I don't know. I just think that I know we are getting older, but we're barely like in the phase of life where we're able to like treat ourselves. And I think that that's a privilege that has not been available to like other women in our lineages. So I'm committed to embracing that.
Mm-hmm.
And then if a man happens to like fit into that, um, then I'd be like, okay, perfect. And actually, I had like I think was I in college already or in high school? I think it was like the summer before college. I did a phlebotomy class. Like I was I don't know if I told you I was like a certified phlebotomist for like 1 year, and then I never renewed it. But the teacher for that class was this woman named Mary, and I remember she was like, "Don't." She gave me this advice in front of my dad. Like she was like, "You cannot." She's like, "You're great, so you have to find a partner that's great just like you." She's like, don't find someone regular. And at the time I was like, oh, she's just, I don't know, she's just saying that. But then as like it stuck with me because even my dad was like, "Did you hear her?" I was like, "Yes." And so I guess she was right. Like she saw that. She saw my potential and she knew I was going to be pretty great. And so she's like, "Don't settle for just a regular man."
Hmm.
Which there's nothing wrong with that for some people, but not for me. Not for us.
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's great advice." And to people that are older than you, give good like they're saying it for something. Like they're not just saying it to just like it's not nonsense. Listen to them.
Hmm. Hmm. Agreed. Yeah, I mean, I've never felt like I needed to rush, right? Because when you're rushing, like what are you rushing into?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like there's not much. At least from the conversations that, you hear on the other end, right? Like people who have done the whole dating, like they've committed to somebody earlier in their years. They don't have, yeah, either it's like it went okay or it's been work or it's not been great, but it's never grand, right? So that's always been like my North Star. Like, well, I don't have much, there's not much to rush into it. Like dating then to marry, like I don't know what lies on the other end of that, but from what I'm hearing, it's not that great. It's always better to just pour into you, and live the life that you want, and then somebody else comes along that fits, like you were saying, that fits
Hmm.
into it already, then wonderful. But if not, I don't. What's the rush?
I like how you said that you see what other people have and you're like, I don't know what's the rush into that. And I think a good point of like from my conversations with other people, like our peers that are in relationships, a common theme that I hear, like I'm talking long term, like they're about to get married if they're not already, like they've been together for a very long time. A lot of them say like, oh well, I think that they think that I'm too picky. And they're like, well, you can't have everything. You have to like you have to compromise or settle on something. I was like, is that what you did? And I'm sorry, but I'm like, I don't think I do. Or maybe I do have to compromise. Like, oh sure, we probably do, but not on like not on my big categories. Like I maybe I
Mhm.
have to like negotiate on something minor, but like on these big like non-negotiables, no, I'm not. And I think and I sometimes when they tell me that, like I just can't my mind can't help but like wander and be like, is that how you feel? Like you had to be like, well, this is what I got. This like I went fishing, this is what I caught, and so I'm just gonna keep it. Like, and I don't want to feel like that. And that's how like and I'm thinking like up to previous people that I've dated. It was never going to be serious, but I guess if I could have continued, it would have been. And I think I was never really like how you mentioned earlier, like that wasn't the person I envisioned as my partner.
Mhm.
And I think that if I would have stuck with them, I would have maybe gone somewhere. But in my head, like my heart wouldn't be in it. And so
Yeah.
because I don't know what it feels like when you know, but it's not that because I didn't feel something. I didn't feel it. Like I just felt and I'm like, I just can't do that. Like I can't just have half of my heart into it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's I just don't want to compromise and I want to feel like yeah, that's going to be my person and I want to feel another thing is I want to feel proud of them. That's
Yeah.
like a big thing that I want to feel proud of them. And I don't
Mhm.
and I want to be like this is my partner. And if I'm not proud of like show not to say show them off because they're not like an object, but like if I'm not proud to introduce them to others, I don't want them.
Yes, that's a huge one. I did not think about, but it's a huge one because that's always in the back of my mind, right? Like, ooh, do I want to be seen with this person? Like, would I, am I comfortable like talking them up in front of others because I'm just so proud of them. And I've only ever felt that way once, and that was it. Like, I haven't felt that way about anybody else. That's why I'm always when I have them in front of me, I'm like, yeah, and this is nice for the time being, right? Because it gives me something to do, like in my week. but it's not, you're not it. Like if you were to ask me to take it further, I'd probably be like, no, because in my head, there's this vision of how I want to feel about my partner, how I sort of like what I envision they are, how they look, and you're not really it. So I'm going to keep it moving, but this was fun.
Well, this was fun, but next.
um, the other point that you mentioned earlier, I guess I don't know that you mentioned it or not, but about types, right? I feel like people are often um what is the word? Like maybe judged a little bit for having preferences or types. And I I have I have some thoughts on that, but I wanted to get your points or your thoughts on like, do you feel that like we should stick to our dating preferences and types, or should we be open-minded and give people who don't fit your preference, your types, a chance and see where that could take you?
Oh no. Well, my like initial response when I saw that question earlier, I was like, no, stick to your type. Like you know what you like what you like. Like you wouldn't go to the store or you wouldn't go to the ice cream shop and get like vanilla when you like strawberry or chocolate. Like just get what you like.
Your chocolate chip.
Yeah, I like Oreo, like cookies and cream. But anyway, um but then I started thinking about Charlotte from Sex and the City when she had a type, like she had like she had that image in her head of who she thought was going to be her husband. And she was married initially, or like I don't know if we have Sex and the City viewers here, she was married and then she gets divorced because she had some problems with him his physical. And so then she find someone else who does not fit into her standards, like not her standards, but like that's just not what she imagined as her partner because he's short, he's bald, he's a little overweight, like he's not conventionally handsome.
Mhm.
He's not a looker. He's not gonna like turn heads when he's walking down the street. But he is so sweet to her and he is so good to her. He's in love with her. He treats her so good. Like so now that I'm like
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know. I think okay, it's a conditional answer.
Okay.
Like try to like stay true to who you are, what you like, and then as a resort, as a like backup, be like open to the Harrys of the world because that was his name, Harry. But I don't know. It comes back down to like the compromise. Like I guess if the physical features are not um high high priority items for you, then you're willing to compromise on that, then I think sure. But if like the physical features are really important to you, then I would say just that's your non-negotiable, then that's stick with it.
Mhm.
And
That's a
some
great.
people, I was gonna say some people don't have types, so I don't know those people, but but I guess they can taste the rainbow. What about you? Do you,
So,
I know you have a type.
yes. Um, okay, so there's a couple ways to answer that question, but I think that you should not stick to your type, but like you if you like what you like, yes, stick to your preferences, stick to your type. I think that if you have a type of preference that you feel very strongly about, go for that, but not at the cost of having to settle in other areas that you want in a partner. So they're
Mm,
not like successful in the way that you want them to be. If they don't, if they don't have a certain personality trait that you, it's very important to you. I wouldn't, I wouldn't like put the looks above all those other things because I feel like qualities, how a person is, how driven they are, that's very dependent on a person, and you're not going to be able to change that. I feel like you can always help somebody up their looks, their style, so that they could look better. But I feel like how they are is how they are. So if you have to decide between either or, maybe maybe that's not like the person that you want to go for. Like because you're having to compromise, right, in other areas that you'd want in a partner. That's how I see it. However, if you find somebody who's meets all like the check marks that you know that you have for a partner, they're kind, whatever it is that you want them to be, and they happen to be your type, then like by all means go for it. Like that's like the best case scenario, right? And I think that it's important to, yes, keep type and preference in mind, especially if looks are very important to you, because even if you have like a wonderful person in front of you, but they're not your type in the least in the smallest of ways, like physically, you're always gonna you're always gonna be thinking, what if? You're always gonna have a wondering eye. Because I'm speaking from experience, I'm speaking from me, right? Like I could have a wonderful person, but if they're not physically like my type, I'm always thinking about, or I'm always looking out for a type, my type.
Always on the prowl. Or what they
That's
say? Something like that.
that sounds like a very shitty answer, but it's the truth, right? Because I'm a very visual creature. And I think this applies more to men as well, is
They
you
are.
guys like they're visual creatures, and I've noticed that if you're not their type, this goes for the ladies, like this goes for me, right? Also understand like if that dating the partner that you're dating, if you're thinking of taking it seriously with them, consider if you're their type at all, because if you're not their type, there's trouble in paradise. Like if they're into you and but if they're into, I don't know, blondes or brunettes or athletic builds, and you're not that, they might have a wondering eye too,
Yeah.
because you're not visually what they like, and that's just like
Mm-hmm.
the bare minimum. They're not visually what they like. Maybe they love your personality, but there's something there about like going for your type, and it's just the exact thing I said about myself. Like I'm always going to be looking out for my type, as long as there are also all these other things.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good point because yes, like don't focus on um your type solely
Hmm.
so much that it like overpowers and like makes you disregard all these other qualities that you're looking for. But also, I like a good-looking man.
I like eye candy. What can I say? I like pretty things. I love it. Like,
Sorry. But not sorry.
no.
And yeah, like that I don't know. I guess because you age, so like your beauty doesn't you can't preserve the beauty, but like I'm not saying that you have to be like a model, but like something a little give me something. Because I think we're entitled to that.
Girl, are you kidding me? I feel like if you waited this long to find, not that you're waiting around, but like if you waited this long to save that spot for somebody wonderful, we're entitled to demand like all the greatest qualities of this one person, because we didn't wait this long just to wait this long and not be happy.
But that's like that Kim Kardashian quote.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
come this far, just come this far.
And not be happy. I saw it on the internet. So funny.
I love that. I love that quote. Yeah. But you're right. And they do say that women become more selective as they get older and more educated. And I think
Yeah.
that's like, I don't know. I guess I don't want to say that we become more like picky, but I think that like once you've like done so much for yourself and given so much to yourself, you're like, why would I deprive myself in that sense?
Yeah.
So,
It's
like
like
I'm used to doing it for myself. Like I make it work. So why wouldn't I expect something else? Why wouldn't I expect that aspect of my life to also follow suit? That.
hmm yeah, that's a great point. Because like you're not gonna compromise just for anything. At this stage in life, no.
Hmm.
And also when we talk about compromise, I thought of like Solomon Ray. If you guys don't know Solomon Ray, he is my inspo for having us start this podcast because he's hilarious and he speaks his mind. But anyway, he's a gay man and he's just like set up all these wonderful businesses, basically came from nothing. And um what I like about him is just how honest and funny and I don't care. I don't give a fuck attitude that attitude that he carries with him. But he's also very kind. And I know I'm talking too much about him, but when people ask him about his dating life and or he talks about his dating life, he's like, I'm not compromising for shit. And that's the truth because I feel like you've at least once you get old as you get older, like you have lived a life on your own by yourself. You cultivated a life around you that you're proud of. And so for somebody new to come in and now you have to balance their needs, you have to compromise one or the other. It gets harder to do.
Hmm.
Like you don't want to do it. If somebody
Yeah.
came in right now and said, "Hey, like I know you like this, but I like that," or I have this preference, but well, we have to meet in the middle. I'm not meeting in the middle. I'm not. Like I'm so sorry because I'm gonna be so unhappy if I not, getting what I want because I have to compromise. And you're also not getting what you want. So
Hmm.
it gets harder, to have to compromise with or the idea of having to compromise with somebody else that like wasn't in your life a couple years back and now they come into your life and there's decisions to be made. Um so you want them how I view it is like I need this person to be so worthy of me even
Hmm.
considering compromising in whatever areas, big or small. So, because that comes with partnership, but I think that person has to just be so worth it for me to even consider partnership and compromise and all that to say that dating does get harder because it's harder to find individuals that you're willing to do this with.
And in addition to finding someone worthy of that, I think that it's also important to find someone that is independent and has their own life
Mhm.
already. Um, and because it's very clear to see that like couples take on like this new identity, like, oh, now they're a couple and they
XYZ.
right, but it's like, what about people that have done like because they say you should love yourself, work on yourself before you date, and like many people don't do that. They just go into a relationship and they only love someone else and they never loved themselves. So when you have already done that or you've been doing that for some time, and then someone else comes, they should be someone that has also done that and like has their own hobbies, their own projects, their own aspirations, and you just come together and like join forces, but you're not. That doesn't mean like I'm gonna throw everything else away that I was working on independently because now I'm part of this partnership. Like that's why that's kind of like what I think that woman, that teacher that I had reference to, like find someone that is just as, you know, multi-hyphenate as you. Because otherwise, they're going to become dependent, or you're going to become dependent. And like, I get it, it's a partnership, but also like sometimes that becomes someone's like sole identity. Like I know people that their like whole identity is being like a girlfriend or a wife or a mother. And I don't really see that on the male counterpart, but um,
Yeah, they don't take on their identity, like the roles that they play,
yeah,
father,
the
boyfriend.
the men don't really do that. And so like don't like what happens when you're not a mother anymore? I mean, not that you're not a mother, but like what happens when your kids grow up? Where's your identity?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't ever want to lose that. And if like being in a partner, having a partner means losing all those other parts of me, then that's not
Mm-hmm.
for me. And I think that that's why a lot of women do, as they get older and more like experienced, more wise, more educated, they don't see like being single as like this bad thing because it's like, well, I mean, like I'm doing all these things for me. I love myself. Like people don't know how to love themselves. And so once you actually tap into that, you don't really need someone else because you're like, well, I'm doing all these things for me. But if someone happens to like add to it, sure. And that's why like I feel like singleness is not something like it's not something to be feared of at some point because you're like, well, I mean, it's pretty great like this.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And there are some people that don't know how to like be that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were I'm not saying like those people are bad. I'm just saying like there are a lot of pressures from society that people sometimes like succumb to and like they feel like, oh, I have to do this and this and this, and so they just fall in the trap. Um, but you should try working on yourself. Because yeah, finding someone worthy and someone that doesn't mm, consume you as like, oh, now you're a girlfriend. Because I do have some friends that are in relationships or are mothers and things like that, and they're not like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh yes, that's how I would want to be. Like if I was a wife or I was a mother, I would want to be like that because they still have all their activities that they do. They have their side hustles and all these things. Like then I'm like, that's what I want. Like if I were to do all those things, that's what I would want. Because like being a mother or being a wife doesn't take away from their identity. But then there are some that are like, that's all they do. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
sorry if that's getting too specific. Maybe we'll cut that out.
Maybe, but it's okay. I feel like that's just our point of view. It's what we want, it's what we don't
We're
want.
channeling Solomon Ray with his um bluntfulness.
Right. I mean, people have opinions, everyone has opinions. We just happen to have a platform because we made a platform because we want to share our opinions. And anybody else can do the same thing, like,
No, that's absolutely true. Anyone
yeah.
else can do this.
Yeah. This is the Clarissa and Mariana podcast.
Exactly.
We're not channeling anyone else's opinions. It's just like our thoughts, our conversations. That's it.
Yes. Okay, we have one. Did we touched on the second topic, which was like the dating preferences, right?
Hmm. We
So
did.
our last topic is thoughts on living with someone before marriage. What do you think?
I I I don't know. I don't that's not for me.
It's not for you?
No. I don't think so because I would like to, not have to live with like a partner for as long as I can. And
Feel that?
I also don't want to play house before we have like maybe if we're engaged and we're not set to get married for like another year, yeah, I'm down to like move in together.
Hmm.
Only if we're engaged, because I know that there's that commitment, right? But I'm not moving in together as a girlfriend because we're not playing house. We're not. We don't need to understand how we each live if that yeah, I just can't imagine doing that. I'm sorry. Like, um I was gonna say like I just don't want to have to I think it's a good way to find it if you're compatible like living together, but I feel like you guys can spend time at each other's place and like get an understanding of, what they do, how do they live? Is it compatible with how you want to live? But it doesn't take to sign a whole lease and be together 24/7 to understand that. And I need to just for my own sake, I need to know that I'm not just gonna be here playing, housewife or whatever without some kind of compromise, which I wouldn't either. Um, like this is a shared partnership. Like I pick up after myself, you pick up after yourself, but it's never
Hmm.
gonna be me picking up after both of us. Like that's not it. Um, so anyway, all to say, like, unless I know that there's already been a compromise at the engagement stage, sure, we can live together as we, get adjusted to one another and leading up to a wedding, sure, but not before that. What about you?
I am the complete opposite.
Really?
Yeah, I would need to live with them for, I mean, the thought of living with a man is kind of, I don't know, I don't want to think about it. But if it got to that point, I would need to live with you for, I would need to live with that man for a long time, and that would help inform the decision of whether or not to get married. Or maybe it would be like, what I imagine is I like in the best case scenario, it would be fine. Like I can deal with living with them. Um, but maybe it would be like you don't need to get married.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I just don't at that point, I just don't see the point of getting married because
If you live together.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because what is the point of being married? Like besides like the legal aspect of it. And really sometimes I think about having I want everything to just be my own. And I don't want to share anything with anyone. So I don't really see the point of, I think that you, okay, sh
Say
yes.
how it is, girl.
I was gonna say, like, before getting married, like, if I was gonna get married, if I imagined that, yeah, I need to live with you for a few years. Because I need to know everything, like your quirks, how you live. Um, because most people are irregular, but some people are not. And I don't want to be surprised.
Hmm.
And still, you don't really know someone, even after a few years of living together. Even if after knowing someone your whole life, you don't know them really. So,
No, you don't. You never finish knowing somebody.
yeah. So I would really need that. Um, but ultimately, at that point, I feel like after living together for some time, I'd be like, then why are we doing it? What's the point of getting married? Like,
Hmm.
I don't need that. I don't need like some people are like, oh, you need to get married and then have kids and all those things. Like, I, I actually would like to have kids first.
Oh, really? And then so they
Yeah,
get the wedding.
yeah.
Oh, that's
Um,
sweet.
but I think that I've gotten to a point where I'm like, I don't care about the like expectations that people have. Like when people are like, oh, you can't get pregnant before you get married and blah blah blah. Like that ship has sailed.
Hmm.
But yeah, I need a long time.
Hmm.
Um, but like to your point about like playing house, like it's never gonna be me being the maid. We can hire a maid if that's what he wants.
I think that's honestly like the best compromise. It's like, well, I would like to things to be very tidy.
Mhm.
If it's if that's only gonna happen if I'm gonna be really keeping things tidy and you're not, that's not gonna happen. We need a maid so that I can get rid of like this. I get my way where things are tidy, but I'm not doing the work,
Right.
right?
Like if you can't pull your end of the tidiness, then they'll hire somebody
Mm-hmm.
because you
Mm-hmm.
need the help,
Mm-hmm.
not
You pay
me.
for it.
Yeah. Like that's true. Like, and I think that that is another thing that some women don't have like the luxury, like the privilege of experiencing before they get into a relationship is like living on your own. And when you have everything a certain way. When you leave for work, you come back and it's the same way you left it. It still smells like pine salt because everything is still clean. Like that's beautiful. Like the kitchen is still clean. There's no spoon in the in the sink. Which is actually why would that even wash the spoon? But
Me as I have one spoon in the sink.
um but you know like that's something that not everybody gets to experience and when you have had that like stage of life, you're like why would I don't know. Yeah, why would I want it any other way? But I don't know. That comes back to like compromise. And maybe like ultimately the compromise or the ability to choose to compromise or not. It's maybe like a privilege.
Yeah, it is. It is a privilege because you are in a different, not tax bracket, but I, you're you have options, right? Like you got yourself to a level in life where you can afford your options. Like you have options, you whereas like if you weren't there, like you'd be functioning just off survival and getting through the next day.
Hmm. Yeah. Like for some people like that partnership like having a husband, having a boyfriend offers them something that they wouldn't have on their own.
Hmm.
And for those situations, I understand. But for other young women that are in like similar trajectories as us, I would be like, think about it really hard because you could have all these things on your own. Like you could work towards it. Like somebody told me, oh well, if you had like a partner, you would just be able to buy a house like sooner. And I'm like, yeah, of course, because we would have joint incomes, but I want to buy it by myself.
Hmm.
And then and then you do level up even more because it's like, well, if I bought a house,
I
I
need to
bought
make
a,
X amount of money, so I need to get to work.
but also then you're not going to be with someone that like can't buy a house on their own either. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, why would I do all these? Like I have, so right now it's not a house, right now it's apartment, but like that's why I'm like, why would I be with someone that doesn't have their own place, like that lives on their own, that has their own car, that like not having a car is crazy, but like you know what? At this point of life, like how you don't, you know what I'm saying? And that's what
Hmm.
we're working with out here. Like people still live at home. People still don't have a car, don't have education, job, things. So why would you? I think that women have gotten to the point where they've achieved all the things that men used to only achieve, like just
Hmm.
themselves. And now we have achieved it, and we're like, okay, so we can do it. Now, what else do you have to offer after this? Because I don't need a home. I have a home. I don't need a car. I have a car. I don't need money to go on vacation. I have all that. What else are you going to give me? And not all women are in this position, but for the ones that are, like, you have to reflect on that because, like, what can you offer me?
Hmm.
Besides a good time because I am a good time. Oh, and that's something that I wanted to mention earlier when you were saying that like sometimes you have like dates and you're like it's fine and the drinks are flowing blah blah blah. But I saw this girl on TikTok like this influencer years ago but she was like are you are your first dates always fun? And then I was like yeah duh. Like I'm answering in my head like my first dates are always really fun. Like it's because you're fun.
It's
It's like
true.
because you're a good time. And it's true. It's hard to like gauge when a date is going bad because if you're just like, you know, very adaptable, you have good conversation and banter, like you're going to make it fun all the time. And that's
Hmm.
true. But when it comes down to it, do they also have that wittiness and banter and can they talk and without the drinks, right?
Hmm. Or like sometimes you think that a date went really well, and then the second date comes around and shit is dry. I'm just like, was I not the fun? What happened here?
Well, I have heard that first dates are like interviews
Oh.
where you're not really showing or you're on your best behavior.
Oh, true.
And and then maybe like you like scale back after that because you're like, well, the first date was over. So I don't know. But I have had some dates where I have had like I obviously I know I'm like keeping up and I'm like chatty and whatnot, but I can feel that they're pretty boring and I'm like so much so that I don't my own personality doesn't like it's not enough to carry the conversation and so I'm just like all right, I gotta get up really early tomorrow.
Yeah. Or oh my gosh, you know what I realized? Like when one of my dating experiences, I realized that I was actually like Wait 1 second, girl. I think my microphone disconnected.
Oh yeah, I hear a difference.
Yeah. All right, how about now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Is better?
Yes.
Okay. Um, I realized that I was like the witty one, the fun one. Basically, I was carrying like the fun aspects of like this dating situation
Mm-hmm.
because they would just I would maybe crack a joke once and they would ride on that shit forever. You know what I mean? Like they constantly bring it up as if it was like an inside joke, but they would never really add to it. I'm just like, you're so weird. Just get on
Ew.
it. Like you keep bringing up this joke I said years ago, or like you keep kind of bring it up. You as if it's like a continuous inside joke, but it's like it was just conversation. Like there's nothing inside about this. Like are you not like original that you can't come up with your own jokes? And that's when I realized like our humor is not the same.
Mhm.
It really isn't. And it's weird that you're
I
getting your personality from me. That's so weird.
Yeah, I was gonna say like sometimes some people like absorb others' personalities and I don't like
Yeah.
that. Um, but yes, I like it when the humor goes back and forth. If it's just one-sided, it's like
Yeah.
can't have that.
No, because I'm like, you can't think for yourself. What's going
Like
on?
be creative.
Be creative.
And
Be
they say that funniness is like a sign of intellect because you have to be clever enough to make the jokes. And I
yeah.
think I agree with that. So, because you have to be like on your toes all the time to think of like, not you have to be, but like you naturally are that way and you're fast enough to think of the joke. And if you can't meet me there, then it's probably, we're not meant for each other.
Not at all. No, not at all. And I think that's one thing I've realized as I've gotten older is I do need banter, like constant banter.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know that I can be funny and I can take my humor a little dark with you and you're not going to be offended by it. Not that
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to offend you, but some things take a little bit of a backbone to tolerate. And if you don't have that in you,
Mm-hmm.
I don't need it because I don't need to be walking around eggshells so as to not offend you.
Yeah,
Oh,
I agree.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's what I've learned. And again, like the longer you go single, the more you go on dates, the more you pour into yourself, your experiences for you, you just learn and expand your inner world so much that you start to understand like what it is that you love about yourself, what's important to for a partner that you're going to be with 24/7 to have as well because you understand that you have a clear understanding of what it is that you need. Whereas, like, had I been committed to somebody in my 20s, that would have been difficult. Like, I don't think that I would have been with the partner that would have been the best partner for me, knowing that at some point I was going to evolve, right?
Mm-hmm.
And want different things in an individual.
Well,
Um,
think about if you had had a partner since you like, let's say like college or like you graduated college, had a partner, and you were just with them until now. You
I
would
mean,
never
just
have discovered. Sorry, go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead. No, I cut you.
I was just gonna say that you wouldn't have discovered this part of yourself. Um, and some people do go on that way. Kudos to them. But I'm so grateful that I have had this opportunity to, I don't know, figure
To
myself
get to know
out.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to get to know myself before I get to know somebody else.
Mm-hmm. And then you stand in that. Like when you meet somebody else, it's like you already bring yourself to it, and
Mm-hmm.
you're not here trying to please anybody. You're not here trying to make them like you. You show up as you, and if
Yourself.
they
Yeah.
can take it or leave it,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not molding yourself. And I feel like that's the difference between like how I've evolved, right? Like maybe in my earlier 20s when I was dating, I kind of like wanted, not that I wanted people to like me, but I wanted to make a good impression. And so you do hold yourself back a lot, like you're
Mm-hmm.
shaping, you're molding. But now I don't. Like now you show up as who you are. They can take it, they can leave it. You were too rude, you were too funny, you met just the right banter. We both had the right banter. And but you're not shaping yourself to accommodate them and their needs or hoping that they like you. And that's wonderful because now if a date doesn't go well, you don't internalize that. At least that's how I've evolved with dating, is that I don't internalize anything. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so when you don't do that, I feel like it's more likely that you're gonna find somebody who matches who you are. And I love that.
I
But I
think that
wouldn't know those things until like now, right? Like I'm glad that I didn't like settle down or committed to anybody because I wouldn't have like evolved as a person and known that
mm-hmm.
what I like is what I like and don't change my mind about it.
Yeah. I think that that is like a very high level of self-confidence to have to be like what you just said. You're like, I don't internalize it. And that's good because and that's absolutely true because sometimes I think that like as women we tend to be like, oh, yeah, he didn't like me because I'm not pretty enough or I'm too fat or whatever. And it's just like, no, it's that's his thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is, but he has that's not on me. Like it's never me. Not that
It's
it's
not
never
me.
me. Like unless I did something like I harmed him or something. But like when you're just so you know who you are, you're just confident. You're like, well, I don't know. Like that's why they I guess that saying is like it's not me, it's or it's not you, it's me. Like it's actually pretty true. Like sometimes you have to just take it for what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not a match. But those were the topics that we had in mind for today, and I feel like we had pretty like juicy conversation about it. Um, what are your thoughts, Larissa?
I loved it. I think that it was a very, we really got deep, maybe
Mm-hmm.
too deep, now that I'm reflecting. But it's the truth. I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
guys.
Yeah, and I think it's always important to like ground us in what this podcast is, right? It's like it's a live record of our lives and our thoughts and how we evolve our thoughts through the years. And this is what we wanted for ourselves is we want like a record of how we thought in our early 30s. And we're probably gonna switch our thinking as the years go by because guess
Mm-hmm.
what? People evolve. They switch their minds and that's okay. So uh this is who we are currently and our thoughts as they are at this very moment. So, if you take anything from it, let it be all the good stuff, right? Like, don't compromise, don't like change yourself just to hopefully be somebody's preference or be someone that somebody likes. Um, and know that like the more you pour into yourself, the less likely the less likely you are to settle with like anybody who's just not meant to be in your life in the first place. Um, and don't rush into things. Don't rush into a relationship because honestly, like what lies on the other side of like a long-term relationship is marriage. But what lies on the other side of that, who knows? Like there's women coming out in their 50s talking about how they shouldn't have gotten married, because life was so much sweeter. They tell you don't wait as long as you can to get married.
Mm-hmm.
So again, like just like I know society pressures us to meet these milestones, but if you're not inclined to meeting them, it's fine. Like you have different priorities. and that's okay.
Yes, absolutely. And to reinforce the idea of like take the good, although there was no bad that we talked about.
No.
But yes, the good is to don't compromise. If you are for the younger women that are like on the same path to like achieve all these wonderful things in their careers and their education and be like these successful women, continue to do that. And then once you start working, don't stop. Like, because you're going to start working and you're going to be done with school and you're going to be like, what else is there? Well, figure that out. There's
Hmm.
more, but you have to figure what that is. Like, what is that you like? What is important to you? Don't just be like, well, I'm done. So now I have to just find a man. I mean, you could, but if you find yourself, that
Even
would be so much
better.
better.
Because then you get to meet somebody even greater, right?
Yeah.
Because you're dating with like this new evolved version of you,
Mm-hmm.
meeting somebody else who's just as evolved, if not better.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, and our minds might change like concerning this topic in the future, but I have a feeling they'll stay the same. At least on this particular thing, because thinking to like the older women that I know, this is what they say. Like older than us even, you know.
Yeah.
That's what they say, so.
Oh yeah. And even like when I look back at like younger me, right? There was always kind of like a compass inside of me that was like, you're not it. You might be it, but I'm never gonna make any long-term decisions based on the now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because you're not meeting XYZ. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like younger us always knows. So never like
Yes.
betray that. Never, right? Just because you need to meet a certain milestone, don't betray that. Like inner you always knows what's out there for you, what's better for you, and don't compromise that.
I like how you said inner compass because yes, when I was much younger, like I don't even remember, was this high school or college? It was so long ago. I
Mhm.
can't even tell you, but I said to somebody, I was like, I don't want to get married.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't believe you. Like she was trying to project onto me. She's like, I don't believe that. You have to. And I was like, what? She's like, you don't want the dress, you don't want the party. And I was like, well, who wouldn't want a dress? Hello. Who wouldn't want a party? Yeah, beautiful. But I'm like realistic and I'm just like, no. And I think I knew from a very young age, I was like, I don't think so. It sounds cool in theory, but it's not in theory, it's actual. So, yeah, that I always had that. And I like said I said that when I was much younger. Like I put that out into the world for a reason. Like I already knew. And I didn't know all that I know now back then, but I somehow already knew. So yes, listen to your intuition.
With all that being said, thank you for sticking through like the end of this episode, and we hope that this was very informational and that you took gems to carry with you as you navigate your dating life.
Yep. Thank you for listening and see you next time.
Bye.